Fernando Mendoza. And Fernando, welcome back to the program on a day where you knew incredible news was going to arrive just after 8 o'clock, but you can't know what it feels like until it actually happens. As you're sharing that with your family and your friends, and it's real, what's that like?
This moment has had a lot of anticipation. After the end of the college football season, it was a long pre-draft process. However, now I'm ecstatic to get to work and finally play football again.
I'm sure, and it'll be with the Raiders. And, you know, before you got to Indiana, they didn't have much history, and now they have a title. The history of the Raiders is very proud, but a lot of it is before you were born, frankly. What do you know about the proud tradition and history associated with the silver and black?
Well, I'm so proud and excited to be a part of the silver and black Raider Nation. I can't thank them enough. Can't thank Coach Kubiak, Mr. Spytek enough. I'm so blessed for the opportunity. I've studied up, and hopefully, I've studied up a lot. It's such a great legacy, and I'm proud to be a small part about it, and look forward to proving it and earning it every single day to try to make Raider Nation proud.
You didn't mention Tom Brady, and he's part of this Raider group. And I was in Miami the night you won the title, and I was on the field pregame, and it was a scene, man. It's Hollywood stars, and there's big-time folks from both fan bases and guys that had worn the uniform. And there's Tom Brady in the black, and he's unmistakable. Like, it's kind of a tryout, right, in a way. I'm just interested in what it's like to have a guy like that who's part of this process and what your experiences with him have been like.
What an incredible resources. I mean, I'm going to have a great coaching staff, like you said, and be able to learn from Mr. Brady. It's going to be such a phenomenal experience. I can't wait to soak it all in and to absorb all the information. I have a lot to learn and ready for it.
You are not in Pittsburgh. You're there in South Florida with family. And in seeing the faces, I get it. But if you could just, as a final thought, Fernando, just share with our viewers what it meant to you to be with the folks you're with tonight, to share this news and this moment with them.
It meant the world to me to be able to share the moment with my family here in Miami. Everybody out, friends, families, mentors, cousins. Everybody, just a collection of people, because it takes a village. It wasn't just me. I've had great teammates, great coaches, and just a great support staff. And to be able to celebrate with them means the world. My mom wanted the party here, so mom gets what mom wants. However, whether it's in Pittsburgh or it's in Miami, Florida, I'm ready to get to work for Raider Nation.
Love it. And, as a parent, and someday I hope you are, to see their faces, it's hard to describe as a parent imagining what that moment would be like. But to give them a moment like that, right, where all that they've poured into you, you kind of give back to them. How do you describe what that personally means to you?
It personally means everything. My parents have instilled so many great attributes and morals in my life, and to give back to them and be able to showcase their ability to raise me on the biggest stage is so important. I owe them everything.
Well, I know you're having a party at the house, and the sooner I stop asking you questions, the sooner you can go enjoy it. Like South Florida, they stay up late down there, so I have a feeling the police are going to let you go as long as you want to go. Enjoy this night, Fernando. Congrats on all you've already accomplished, and all the best moving forward, all right?
Thank you so much. God bless.
All right, we get him out of the way so Kevin Clark can walk out here. He's here in person, and when as a draft pick, you get a fez. Here, no, actually, don't wear the fez. I'm not gonna make you measure. I'm not gonna mess the hair up. I'll wear the fez.
There it is.
Well, actually, I'll take the fez off. Just a minute. NFC East was busy on Thursday. 6 total picks, several trades. Philly, a rare intra-division trade with Dallas to take USC wideout Mekhi Lemon. What's that might mean? Last time they traded up with the Cowboys, they took Devontae Smith. Dallas also used number 23 in the first round to take UCF edge Malachi Lawrence. The Cowboys traded up in the draft, swapping 12 and 11 with Miami to get Caleb Downs out of Ohio State. He will provide a much-needed boost to a Cowboys secondary who allowed more 25-yard completions than any other team last season. The New York Football Giants also made multiple picks Thursday. They took Ohio State linebacker Arvell Reese with the 5th pick overall before doubling up with a offensive lineman from Miami, Francis Mauigoa, who is going to help a lot. He said he was willing to die. It's not necessary. Just block. Just block. Louis Riddick joins us now. And Louis, a busy night in the first round for 7 different teams that took multiple picks. I often ask you to put on that front office hat that you wore for so many years. And all these teams that had multiple picks, they need multiple players. In terms of how teams addressed needs tonight, how would you assess how those teams did?
Quite honestly, Scott, I think they did fantastic. If you just start with the Giants, the Arvell Reese pick and the CeCe Mauigoa, Francis Mauigoa, they call him CeCe. These are foundational picks for John Harbaugh. I mean, Arvell Reese kind of gives the Giants now at the linebacker position, a group of guys that can just absolutely be deployed in multiple different ways. When you think about guys, like Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, along with Arvell Reese now, I mean, these guys can just absolutely get after it from multiple different positions. So the defense is going to be a problem. They have to protect Jackson Dart. I mean, obviously all quarterback sacks aren't on the offensive line, and Jackson's got to do his part. But CeCe Mauigoa is someone who the coaches down in Miami said he is very comparable to Penei Sewell. He's going to have that kind of impact. That is a huge, huge thing. When you think about the Cowboys now, look, Caleb Downs and Malachi Lawrence, that's exactly what they needed on the defensive side of the ball. They needed someone who, at the command and control center on defense in the secondary, could, one, get everybody lined up, get everybody playing on the same page, which we saw multiple times last year, just killed this football team. They were done before the snap even happened because they weren't on the same page. So that's huge. Malachi Lawrence, he's one of those guys who not a lot of people know about him if you haven't really been, one of those nerds of college football. But he is big, fast, physical. Exactly. I mean, he's got great hand use. He can rush the passer. I mean, that's right there. That's taking care of needs. The Kansas City Chiefs, you just keep moving down the line as you see Malachi Lawrence there on your screen. The Kansas City Chiefs, this is another football team. Mansour Delane, they move up to draft him because they knew that cornerback was something that if they didn't get him and someone else took him, they just weren't comfortable with the rest of the guys taking them inside the top 10. And this is a guy who's going to step in day one in Spags' system, and he is going to be a starter. Peter Woods, the defensive tackle from Clemson, you pair him with Chris Jones, that's exactly what they need. They need somebody to help Chris out, get that push up the middle. I said this about Peter Woods. I was looking at my notes after he got picked, Scott, and I'm sitting there going, this is a guy who's been so hot and cold for Clemson. He has drove the coaching staff crazy down there, why they couldn't get him to even out his performance. When he's on, he is Aaron Donald-like. That's what he looks like. A guy who can just wreck the middle of the defense with his penetration and then his lateral chase ability, but he just doesn't give it to you all the time. And so when you pair him with a guy like Chris Jones on a team like Kansas City that has this standard of performance that is basically it's Super Bowl wins or bust, that will get the best out of him. So I love all these teams with their multiple picks, the kind of work they put in, because these are some really, really good players that are going to some really good coaching staffs.
We mentioned the trade there with Kansas City moving up to take a DB. Philly moves up to take a wide receiver. Now, they made a trade with Green Bay to bring in Wicks, and now you go get Mekhi Lemon from USC, a guy who I love when I watch. I feel like he wins 50-50 balls, makes winning plays. That's a difference-making wide receiver. But, I mean, we don't have to squint too hard to connect the dots here to see the direction things are heading as it relates to Brown. I'm just interested in how you feel like Lemon improves Philadelphia and if it's an instant sort of a help.
Oh, without a doubt it is. Like, this guy at 5'11", 192, 194 pounds, you're sitting there going, how does he make some of the plays that he makes in those 50-50 situations that you alluded to? You do that because you have a high alpha level of competitive character, and that's what he has. You turn on the Iowa game from this past year, and he is making plays. You're sitting there going, he cannot continue to make catches like that. And then he makes another one, and then he makes another one, and he makes another one. And it's against guys who are bigger than him, stronger than him, faster than him, but he just continues to do it. That's why people compared him to Amon-Ra St. Brown, because that's what Amon-Ra does for the Detroit Lions. He does it time and time again. He did it when he was at USC. Mekhi's following in those footsteps. And so you can see why Philadelphia said, you know what? He may not be the biggest, strongest, or fastest, but he's one of the best receivers in all of college football. His skills translate to the NFL, and Philadelphia fans, they're going to love how this kid competes. Love it.
I love the fact that for the first time in my memory, you and I aren't competing with a concert behind you where we have to scream to be heard. This is fun. Just two dudes talking ball at 11:30.
Yeah, I can
Eastern
hear
time.
you. I can hear you clearly. I'm not yelling. My voice isn't straining. It's.
All right.
Hey man, I mean, I don't know. Can we just keep going? I know you got to get other guests on here, but this has been fun.
Well, just prepare yourself. Wiz Khalifa tomorrow night, black and yellow. That's we'll be going in that direction tomorrow night. Lewis, thanks.
No doubt.
Enjoy the second and the third round and going into the weekend. I appreciate you, man.
Of course. Good to see you, man.